am the fire. I am burning brighter. Roaring like...
Phoenix Gate fans. The gate has once again opened. We have been closed since April. I am so sorry that we have been MIA, but we're back. It is September. I mean, come on, everything has its season, right? We took the summer off. That's what we do. So it's your girl, Jade Phoenix, here coming to you live. Once again, the gate is alive, and I am joined by the three sexiest bitches I know. So I'm going to introduce them now, starting with the sexy bitch to my left. You heard her last time the gate was open. Choco Butt!
Hello, hello. It's me, Choco. 90% burr, 10% chaos. You know how it be. So
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome
thanks for
back.
having me again.
Of course. I love you're always welcome on the gate. You know this. And then, of course, we have the beautiful and mysterious Scarlett.
Hi, I'm the OnlyFans girl that you thought of subscribing to, but didn't because your girlfriend would get mad.
It's true. It's true. We have yet like, oh, mwah, beautiful. Beautiful. And last but certainly not least, we have the gorgeous Kaye.
Hey guys, it's nice to be talking to everybody. Whether you know it or not, I am actually Kate McKinnon that you ordered off of Wish.com. Some damaged goods, but it's okay.
We love it. We love it. We do love it. And seeing as this is an all-star female cast tonight, we are going to be talking about female roles in video games and how they have either evolved or not throughout the years. So this is a pretty interesting topic. If you guys are like not into that whole women empowerment thing, turn us off now. Leave. Bye. Get out.
But for those who stayed.
Yes, but for those who stayed, we are going to be talking from the inception until modern video games. Because honestly, as video games themselves have evolved, technically, so has female characters, or not.
Or not.
Or not. So, I mean, yeah. So let's start off with the inception of video games. Honestly, we can start with the arcade game. Mm-hmm. The arcade game. What is the one thing that everybody remembers from the original arcade game? You have Pac-Man, you have Donkey Kong, which is the whole premise of the only female character in that game is that she gets kidnapped by an ape and you're trying to save her.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's like... If you didn't know, we are also in the Chocobo nest. So
it's
we have two amazing people in the background who are kicking some serious ass playing. What are you playing? Call of Duty?
Yep.
Yeah. So
I don't even have to look.
Yeah. They're playing Call of Duty. So if you do hear random screaming in the background, that's them kicking some serious ass.
More like getting their serious asses kicked.
There you go. There you go. So, yeah, Donkey Kong. Like, you guys have played this game, correct?
Yes.
You guys have played Donkey Kong.
It's a little before my time.
A little before your time, but you've played it, yeah? Like, you've gone to arcades.
I played it on, I think, the Nintendo DS.
Right, so it's like an emulator. So
Yeah.
but still, the concept of the game is a busty blonde female in a pink dress getting kidnapped by an ape.
You gotta jump over the barrels, go up some ladders.
Yeah, shoots and ladders for the extreme.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
like...
Wait, what's Shoots and Ladders?
Anyways, then of course, obviously, if you want to go into after the arcade game, you totally can go into the whole fact that the console game, starting with the Nintendo in what was it, 1985, that it came over here from Japan. What do you call it? From there, honestly, we were introduced to Mario. And what's the whole premise of Mario, girls?
Same thing.
Let's go
Princess and
save a
castle.
princess from a odd turtle man. Isn't that what he is? He's a turtle, he's a dragon, something in between.
Turtle dragon.
Turtle Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's obviously Scarlett before your time.
The only Mario I played was like Mario Party.
Right.
He's in it though.
Oh no, that was just, listen, me and my sister all out battle royale. No holds barred. Relationships destroyed.
Take no prisoners.
Yes, that is how it went down. But we're talking like obviously like the whole point in this, like we're bringing up the different examples of these games is mainly because the female character has not changed very much over the past 35 years.
Sadly.
unfortunately. And we do have quite a few games where we can prove this trope that we are spitting about today. We are starting off with the originals, with the 8-bit games, obviously. Zelda.
Yep.
Let's go into that.
So basically, you have Zelda. Basically, you have to go to every little mini dungeon, do all the dungeons. That's what happens at the end game. You save Princess Zelda. You got the Triforce of Wisdom. The end. Did Zelda do anything? No. Why is it called The Legend of Zelda in the first game? Don't really know. She's literally at the end of the game. And in the storybook on the artwork and when you got the game. That's about it. But you play as Link and you saved a princess.
Right, which everybody always gets confused and they call Link Zelda.
I hate that joke.
Yeah.
I hate it, but can we just appreciate Zelda Williams for
Yes.
doing
Yes.
that Link cosplay?
Yes.
just flawless.
No, that was great.
Stan a queen.
We do stand that queen. But like we are talking about how but the thing is Mario and Zelda in their current evolutions have evolved past that point. Where Zelda was nothing more than what Link was trying to save, and Princess Peach is no longer the damsel in distress kidnapped by a turtle dragon. Like, it's evolution, people. This is why we're talking about it. This is why we are pressing double X to start the game. Let's go. Like, and yeah. So, I mean, like, come on, guys. Talk to me about more other games that you can remember where immediately you knew that the female protagonist or any of the other characters were nothing there than just visual fodder.
Or love interest.
Or love interest.
Every Final Fantasy game. Ever. Anything by Square Enix, actually. Let's just go with that. All Square Enix titles.
I have to. It's Square Enix. You
Yeah.
have to have the ethereal sound.
It's fantasy. Let's make it sparkly.
You have to have this. Yeah, you just me.
I mean, this coming from, like, I go by Choco for Chocobo, but, like, this coming from a Final Fantasy fan, the women in all the games are there as love interests. Yes, some of them have a little bit bigger roles, like 10 with Yuna. Her role is very important in it. But for the most part, they're all very much love interests, and that's why they're there. Or they're a love interest that causes a conflict, like 4. Oh, let's fight against this. We're best friends, grew up together, but we're going to fight each other because we both love the same woman. So now we're going to stop being bros because of the woman. Great. That's a great female lead in that game. What's your purpose? To make these two men who were friends fight each other.
Honestly, and that's why Aerith and Tifa needed to go together. They needed to break it. They needed to break the chain, my guys.
It's true. I mean, we can go back to the original OG of the original sexualization. In my mind, this is my opinion, Lara Croft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lara Croft is the original sexualization of any female protagonist. Like it was literally it was the first game that we ever got on the PS1 that had a female lead character.
And what's the best feature?
Not as a dual character with a guy. This is the first game that we had with a female lead character. And straight up, all we got was triangle boob.
Yeah.
Triangle boob. Nope.
Guns and triangle boob.
I don't like it.
Keep in mind, this is all a little before my time, but even I knew Lara Croft is just like
Triangle boobs.
basically sexy Indiana Jones, triangle boob.
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, I was
that's
going to
it.
say, like, if anything proved that, it was as much as I appreciate Angelina Jolie and the work that she's done, at that point, she was just considered, like, a sex symbol. So who else were they going to give the role to Lara Croft to other than
Angelina Jolie?
I mean, she's got the biggest honkers anybody's ever seen. So, Used to. This is true.
Mm-hmm. She has since making the movie and being the character. She has since had a double mastectomy.
Ouch.
Cancer. Fuck cancer. But but like that is like literally the first thing I remember. The first game that I can virtually remember that had that was the only character that you could play that was a girl. There was no male characters in it that, you know, you had to share the spotlight with. You know, I mean, because all the Final Fantasy games had the grouping, and obviously the main character was a dude. You know, and the girls that were there were just there for love interest and, you know, fan art.
Yeah, mostly fan art.
Mostly fan art.
Tifa. I love you, Tifa, but oh my god.
I mean, and then like even if you want to go to the original Street Fighter, you had a strong female character in Chun-Li. Really, only the love interest of Ryu.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
and then dies.
But there is a contradiction to this, and that is Mortal Kombat. The original Mortal Kombat. Scarlett, you were mentioning.
Yeah, I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan. Again, I am a youngin' here, so the really early ones, like 1, 2, 3, and like 4/Gold, I didn't play too much personally. I hopped on around the Deception era, but like just playing those games, and despite the female characters being very sexy, like wearing very revealing sexualized outfits, which we'll definitely touch on later. It was really cool seeing the like almost Game of Thrones level arc that these characters had. Like these female characters, like they were sexy, but they also
Were powerful.
they were powerful. They not even just held their own against the male characters. They were shown as being very capable and kicking these guys' ass.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, like, obviously that was the point of the game, but in the end, like, you didn't get that. I mean, we're talking original Sega, you know, where you either playing as a hedgehog or a fox that was deformed, you know, or you were like, even in the PS1 generation, you mentioned Choco, Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, and that was only like some levels. You're like, oh, you get to play as Coco. Granted, I loved those levels because like Coco had the ones where you got to ride on the polar bear and the tiger. Oh no, not the polar bear. That was
It was I think it was a rhino.
yeah, but definitely the tiger, and I loved those ones. But it was like it was still kind of like sad because I would play like a bunch of like other kind of games. Like I used to play Harvest Moon and all these ones, and I always hated that like you had to play as a guy because I was like, what if I want to play as a girl and romance the guys or romance the girls as a girl?
And you weren't allowed to do that in The Sims.
Yeah.
Do you remember in the original Sims, it was always guy girl. Like you were not allowed to have any type of relationship, and it was always like, if you were a female playing Sim, you always had to really, really work at romancing the guy. Meanwhile, if you were a male playing Sim, it wasn't that hard to romance the female characters.
Literally in Harvest Moon, there's I think it was Muffy. If you gave her an apple every day, you were solid. You were gonna marry Muffy. You just had to give her an apple, which you could grow on your farm. It was very easy. But then if you play like the later ones where you do get to play as a girl, there's like they made like one of the ones Tree of Tranquility. You have like Chase, who's a similar character. You give him orange stuff and he likes it, but like it's so much harder once you have to be a girl and then go after it. So
I will say that's why men think they can do the bare fucking minimum.
I mean, fair enough.
This is what they've got to go off of. You know what?
This is what that our generation actually was indoctrinated with.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
most girl characters were either a secondary or like you only played for some missions, like case in point Coco from Crash Bandicoot. Or if they were a main character, they weren't in it a lot.
or they died.
Yeah. Every Final Fantasy character.
Oh god.
Every Final Fantasy female character, like, oh, you're a love interest, you're gonna die.
Or they kill your love interest and that just goes on to like, oh, I don't know,
now it's a
Final
revenge
Fantasy
story.
X.
Yeah, now it's a revenge
Final
story.
Fantasy X and Final Fantasy X10,
Yeah.
X2 and shit, and I'm going to, you know, what do you call it? They just, it's like, it sucks because they have, okay. Let me compose my thoughts here when it comes to Final Fantasy X, because there's a lot to unpack there. Final Fantasy X2 pissed me off so badly because the entire game is based on the premise that Yuna lost the love of her life and she wants him back. Why can't we focus that game? Why could that game not be focused on the fact that she is the only summoner in existence in that arc to ever survive beating the goddamn big boss?
And actually prevented Sin from ever returning.
But no, let's make an entire new game about how she cries because she lost her boyfriend.
And sings about it in the rain. I love that scene. She sings about it in the rain, and everyone's just like, "Oh, this is beautiful." And then you have like the other two female characters, and it's just like, we're okay. One of them's your cousin that you love.
That's how I feel about it. This is how I feel about it because this is literally what we were given in that game. It's Meow Mix. Okay. I'm sorry, I love the song. Deal with it.
Okay. I can't.
And then you had Pain, which could have been really cool. She's
Oh
a
my
very cool
God,
character.
she could have been epic.
And like you're just like, oh, I'm just here for the ride. I'm like, but you're so cool. Why do you go this way?
No, it's just and then why don't we get since we're already in PS2, PS3 land, Kingdom Hearts. Scarlett, did you play Kingdom Hearts? Did you play the original?
I did not. I think I may have owned Kingdom Hearts 2 because my dad bought it like as an impulse thing. I played it for 5 minutes. I was like, "What is this?" And then I didn't touch it ever again.
Okay, and Kay, you are the biggest Disney stan here.
Yeah.
You really are. I mean,
I'm-
even more than me, which is impressive.
Thank you. I try. I did work there. So.
Totally. But Kingdom Hearts for you.
Well, I loved Kingdom Hearts, not because I really paid attention to the story. I'm going to be honest. I just love the Disney IP.
Which is totally fine.
I just love that I
Valid.
got Donald in a really cute outfit, and I'm still upset I never got to work at Disney and attend for Donald in that outfit. Damn you, Disneyland.
He wouldn't have healed you anyway.
Wait, whose idea was it to make Donald the healer?
I don't know.
I know what? I'm going to say this right now about Donald as healer. Donald took in those triplets, effectively became their dad with nothing to have. Like, he literally just lives on a little boathouse. So this man is a healer, okay?
If not, at least he's at the very least the caretaker, which
Exactly.
obviously translates into
Exactly.
healing, which, honestly, tell me why every single powerful female character in every single game was a healer or a witch.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you really look at just like specifically in fantasy trope video games, the healer's always the woman. It's always going to be the female character. There's been some games now where it's like they've tried to like reverse that, but still like every Final Fantasy game, who's the healer in it? Oh, it's going to be one of the girl characters
Yep.
or an animal.
Or an animal.
Or an animal.
Because we're equal to the animals in
Yes.
this scenario.
Who's the
Red
black
13.
Yep. Who's the black mage? Animal.
Or if you're a female character in a fantasy game, if you're not a healer or a witch, you're usually an assassin or a thief.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
Or
you mentioned Dragon Age.
Yes.
You've played lots of the Dragon Age incarnations.
Yes, I have played. I beat the first one. I played bits and pieces of the second one and Inquisition, but I couldn't really get into them the same way I got into the first one.
Right.
Yes, and
What did you notice about the Dragon Age characters? You said that there was a pretty decent one that was not a magic user, that was a rogue assassin.
yes, Liliana, she was an assassin, also a bisexual character.
So right then and
Yeah.
there. I mean, I think I've only played Dragon Age Origins, and
Yeah.
I did not get very far with that. Mostly because I got bored.
Yeah, that's what happened to me with two and Inquisition.
I
just got bored during them.
Yeah, and it's just like it was so much. I really wasn't used to games like that at that point. Even though I was a huge World of Warcraft stan for years. Fuck you, Blizzard, right now. But
Blizzard.
That's its own conversation.
but it is actually technically relevant to the
It is,
conversation
though.
we are having because of what happened at Blizzard. We could touch on that if you guys are open to it, if you want.
I'm totally down. I've been doing
I mean,
papers
we're
on
gonna
it.
like seriously, straight up, what happened at Blizzard? If why don't we give the inquiring minds what we're talking about? You want to give the quick summary, Choco?
Okay, basically, Blizzard / Activision had this wonderful thing where the higher ups, like the CEOs and everything in the company, were totally using their power over the female employees at the company. They had, for one instance, they had the Cosby Room at a convention at BlizzCon that they would love to bring in women and use sexual favors to promote them in the company. They had nursing rooms at the company for the women that they had no lock on. We're not allowed to lock the door, and men just would walk in while they were nursing their babies. That's totally appropriate.
Totes.
And we even had confirmed one person who ended up sadly committing suicide because of all the horrible things that happened, and she couldn't take it anymore at Blizzard.
Huge red flag. Huge red flag right there.
They still haven't done, in my opinion, enough.
Well, the CEO, from
Yeah.
what I read last, I haven't really. I'm evil. I got distracted by shiny things, and I haven't been keeping up with the actual what's been going on. But I do know that the CEO of Activision stepped down.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm correct, he stepped down. But other than that, from what I've heard, not much has gone on to rectify the situation.
Oh no, Overwatch thinks they did something great. They're going to change McCree's name.
To what?
Something else.
Why?
They're going to take him out of the game for a
Oh,
while.
yay.
Because his name was one of the bad employees' names.
Are you kidding
That's
me?
totally going to rectify everything.
Yeah.
Yay.
It's a symbolic gesture more than anything else.
But it's not even like a...
But it's
a
an
good-
empty gesture.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. It's
Like-
like all it's doing is it's like putting a Band-Aid over a crater.
Yeah.
That's not an expression, but it is now.
No, it's literally like shoving. It's shoving your finger in the dam, and the dam is literally about to break and flood the entire Silicon Valley. It's gone.
Exactly.
It's gonna happen. I mean, and like I said, I've been playing World of Warcraft, since maybe second. No, I've been playing since 2011,
Yeah,
2013.
that's...
Yeah. I've been playing since when it first started.
Yeah.
You know, I stopped for a while and then I got really heavy into it in 2013 again. And then life stopped again, kept playing. But I've always gone back to World of Warcraft. And it's a little annoying how the exact same armor build for a male character, as Scarlett pointed out before we were talking off the cast, pointed out that the exact same armor build, exact same stats, the exact same crit, everything is the same, but the female character is going to be a bikini and the male character is going to have a full set of plate armor. Like,
And World of Warcraft isn't the only Blizzard game that's guilty of this. Diablo 3, which I've been playing on and off since it came out, I believe back in 2012ish.
yeah,
been out for a
Diablo's
little
been
while.
out for a while.
Yeah.
Diablo 3. I want to say that came out like 2012ish.
And they're remastering it too, so it can
Yeah.
be played on the PS5.
Oh, sweet.
But they didn't change the armor.
They did not.
No, but I mean, the thing is, it does get a little bit better depending on the character class. Like with the female barbarian, the higher level you get, you actually get like you could get like a decent armor set that actually looks like proper armor, but it's like,
But you have to work for it.
yeah, why do you have to work for it? Like it still does. It's like, I see what you're doing, but it still doesn't make anything better.
Yeah.
It's like the whole Red Sonja outfit. It's like, yes, those are the only spots I'm going to get hit with. In my boobs and crotch.
Oh,
the rest of
wonderful.
my skin is impervious to damage.
Or Witchblade.
Yep.
Oh, no.
The Witchblade.
I don't need armor there. It's
Oh, I
fine.
heard someone say like, "Oh, they only show they show so much skin to be like, do they do that to be distracting?" It's like,
No.
that's not going to distract someone from stabbing you.
Are you kidding me? That just makes it a bigger target. I'm going to aim for the exposed spots.
Exactly. It was the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I mean, we are
Thanks for
talking.
trying, but
I
you
mean,
know.
yeah. Props for trying. But like, I mean, Dragon Age does. You mentioned Ileana as the rogue assassin. That was pretty cool, bisexual presenting.
Yes.
And then, but here's the other problem I have with that game. So you are either someone who's a switch, like Ileana, or you're a magic user, or you are a full blown bull dyke.
Yep.
Yep.
That's Cassandra in. I think she shows up in 2.
She
and then,
comes in Inquisition again.
Yeah,
too.
no, she's in
another.
Inquisition, but she's like in a bunch of the cutscenes for 2.
What
Yeah.
drives me crazy about that is, why do you have to present a strong female character as, manly?
Yeah.
Why do you have to do that? Like, there's no reason to do that. Like, you could have made her feminine and still strong and, all that stuff, but you didn't, and you turned around and turned her basically into a female presenting man.
Yeah, and she even honestly, I thought she was like almost like a male character when I first saw her, because I didn't play 2, but I played Inquisition, and like she has like the really really short hair, and she's in like the full armor. Granted, I will applaud them for giving her like full covering armor.
Yeah.
Her armor looked the same as
Yeah.
the male ones, but because of that and the way her like face was shaped and the short hair was like, I didn't even know it was a girl character until she started speaking. So like. But Dragon Age, a lot of their female characters have that kind of look to them. They're very like,
But again, that also could be a
Androgynous kind of
it could
looking?
be also a graphics thing, which is why,
Yeah.
like, as graphics have progressed in games, I will give them credit where they did make it more feminine, where they do make you look a little bit more like what was the game that you mentioned? Was it the Last of Us? Last of Us.
Yes.
Those
Last of Us, yeah.
Yeah, Kay, you mentioned that
Yeah.
to me, where you can tell a character is female. You know?
Like, I love Last of Us. I mean, I originally, like, I didn't play a lot of video games growing up, and a lot of that had to do with I felt like they weren't made for me, and they weren't made to make me feel like I was having a great experience. Like, it just felt like watching my brothers playing their own fantasies. So, especially for Last of Us, because I'm very into horror games, it was great to actually see very strong female characters. They didn't all have to be heroes, but they didn't have to necessarily be villains. And you also had the fact that they looked like actual people. Like, they weren't all like big busty chicks.
Yeah, the
Like-
proportions, like any Silent Hill game.
Oh,
Oh God! Like all the Silent Hill games. Like, how many times have we seen those sexualized freaking nurses?
Oh my God, don't get me
the
fucking
nurses.
started.
The nurses, you know. I mean, like, dude, we get it. They're nurses with creepy sacks on their faces, and they got pretty bodies. But hey, guess what? If you ever met a real RN in like real life, most of us don't look like that. I'm sorry, but then like, what drives me crazy is that you'll have male presenting people, you know, that will sit there and take this video game version of a female and take it as gospel.
No,
This is how all women are.
This is
supposed
how
to
you're
insane.
supposed to look. Oh, you're cosplaying that character? You have curves? How dare? How dare you not have the right curves?
It's insane. And that's why I think The Last of Us is so important, because you have characters that, like, these are women that actually get to look battle damaged. These are women that are literally basically going through an apocalypse, and they look like it. Like, they're not wearing makeup. They look like actual people that have been through the ringer. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you just generally when I cosplay, because I am not exactly, I'm a little bit part of the itty bitty titty committee. I get a million comments on the, oh, well, you don't look feminine enough to do this character. And I'm like, this isn't for your gaze. It's for me. And newsflash, this is what a female presenting person looks like.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna get triangle boobs in the temple.
No, you're not. You're not gonna get that. You're not gonna get like the katana stacked. You're not gonna get the Melina stacked. You're not gonna get the Sonya Blade with the beautiful abdominal muscles. Like, yes, there are women out there that do look like that. There are women presenting individuals that look like that. Notice I am using both of those. Thank you. If I'm using them incorrectly, Kay, please.
I got you. No problem.
Yeah. But like, these people, like, yes, cool. We have that representation in video games. We're getting more of that in video games. We are definitely seeing an upswing. Why
Yeah.
the hell did it take 35 years to do it?
Because we weren't the audience.
Yep.
And I think that's what's nutty. Like, I used to work at a daycare, and I always say to people, I think it's great now that kids, for example, I had girls that would come in with Batgirl Barbies, and I thought it was the greatest thing, because we didn't really have that. It was like, it was made, they looked at it and said, this is for boys because we can sell them action figures and toys. This isn't about the women, because what are women doing other than, like, you know, like, doing a little cross stitch in the corner? Like, they're still doing the laundry. What do you mean they want to play video games? You know what I mean? And I think that's what's crazy about how a lot of these characters are presented. They're solely made for the male gaze. And even though it's taken so long, we're finally getting people that are like, oh, wait a minute. Women have always been playing video games. I mean, the reason comic conventions exist and the reason cosplay exists is because of female presenting folks. So I'm like, come on, guys. It shouldn't take it this long.
No, I mean, and okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm going to swing back a little bit to the Lara Croft issue.
Yeah.
I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I will mention that we were technically supposed to be the target audience for Lara Croft. We were.
Yeah.
It just wasn't the way that we needed it to be.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point.
And eventually, because of the over-sexualization of the character, we got disgusted, and we did not want to play Lara anymore.
Basically, they read the assignment completely wrong.
They did not they did not understand the assignment, and that's fine, because you do actually have positive female representation in quite a few video games.
Yep.
Even the old school ones. You do. I mean, Seamus Aran in
Yep.
Metroid. Hello.
Yeah.
You know, but unfortunately, you didn't know that she was female until you beat the game.
She had to beat the game.
You had to beat the game. You know, but incentive, like, hey, guess what? This entire time you've been playing as a girl. Ha! Screw you.
That is a great moment, though. You got to say. Like,
Yes, I totally enjoy that. I mean, Scarlett, you mentioned Dark Souls.
Yeah, with Dark Souls, what was pretty cool, which granted, Dark Souls just is not the game for me. Did not have a fun time playing it, but what I really did appreciate about it was, like, the armor set, depending, regardless of whether your character is male or female, looks exactly the same, which is in complete contrast to how we were talking about World of Warcraft and Diablo earlier, how like you get the same armor set, same stats, completely different on both, on either male or female character.
Absolutely correct.
And it's cool because you could just, with Dark Souls, you could tell that these armor sets, they're made to at least look functional. They're made to look cool. They're made to look functional. They're not made to sexualize, especially on the female characters.
They're made for the game.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And also, if you think about it, it kind of makes it easier for them because they're just animating one set of armor instead of trying to do everything for two.
It does. Mm-hmm. And Kay, you had mentioned Cyberpunk.
Yeah, so I know that the game apparently does not work very well. I'll admit I've never played it, but I will say I did really appreciate when news was finally coming out about Cyberpunk that you did not need to be a gender conforming character because, fun fact, gender is on a spectrum, folks. It is not written in stone, and it was so great that you got to pick and choose your comfortability.
I can talk over it.
Dope. Okay. Yeah. I was like, all right, everybody.
No,
please.
I'm sitting there. I was
like-
applauding what you just said about the spectrum.
I was literally like, come on in and clap, everyone. It makes
Like,
me feel good.
no.
I'm like, Tinkerbell, give me some extra claps. I'll come to life.
What the thing is that like a lot of people who listen to the cast are gonna sit there and be like, "What are you talking about?" Hey, guess what? We're not here to cater to your sensibilities. If you don't like it, turn me off, unsubscribe. I'm not gonna be sad to see you go. Sorry, not sorry.
The door can hit you on the way, by the way.
Bye bye. See ya. But like, also one of the other things is in the latest incarnation of Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yes.
I played that. I love that game, and you had the option to play as male or female presenting Viking. It is still the same storyline. You are still the same guy accessing memories from back in the day. It does not matter.
Yep.
But you can play as either or, and the armor sets are the same.
Same with Odyssey 2, which was the one before that, where you're in
Oh
Greece.
yes.
Yeah. So you're still like the son or daughter of Leonidas.
Yes.
Which I thought was cool because it's like, oh, you're bringing in 300, super very manly thing. But if you play as a woman, they're not like, oh, you're suddenly like some random person. You're still Leonidas' child.
Yeah, it's like I like that we had that option, and it doesn't change the storyline. Where in other games, if you choose the female character, you had to play her storyline, not the storyline. Her storyline, which always revolves around my love, my soul. I need you to survive.
Either
What
that
do you
or
mean? I
these-
talk with that all the time.
I was gonna say with female characters in when you're playing their campaign, it's either about a love interest or they're given these very like nurturing roles where they're usually caring for like a child, whether it be theirs or just one that they found.
Yep.
I'm gonna bring up Resident Evil 2, also huge Resident Evil fan.
Yep.
Yeah, like you have both Leon and Claire have complete, like their own separate stories, which do converge at certain points. In Claire's story, hers revolves around, like one, she's trying to find her brother.
Yes.
So already you have there kind of revolving around a man, and that also goes into her sequel story where she's trying to search for her brother, Chris. And then, aside from that, she's basically trying to rescue and take care of this little girl, Sherry, that she literally just met.
Yep. Which is again, we're talking about one of the greatest franchises that was ever created for video games. I'm not gonna
Absolutely.
lie. Resident Evil is one of the most long-standing video games. Like, we're talking video games that have literally beaten the test of time here. I mean, we're not just sitting here shitting on them. We're literally sitting here saying, no, they've stood the test of time. As time has progressed and the people who've played the games have progressed, matured, been introduced to the whole franchise themselves. The games themselves, like the Final Fantasy franchise, as Choco mentioned, did not change the trope.
Nope.
You have the opportunity. You have the ability. Do it.
Yeah.
Just please do it.
I mean, still, like, the most recent one, still 15. Like, what's the storyline? Oh, I'm a prince and I'm with my male friend and we're gonna go save the princess. And oh no, the love interest, the princess dies. Like,
Jeez.
and this is the 15th incarnation.
I know. And
And it's still
15
going
times.
that they're killing the female love interest, usually.
15 times.
And what's crazy is when you think of Remake 7, for example, like we remade it. They changed so much to begin with, to the point they basically changed the timeline of the game.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you like, even if you still wanted to keep Aerith's death, you still didn't give them the same amount of agency that they deserve. Like they look nice in the game, but I mean, it's not like I can choose an option where Tifa isn't a Cloud stan. I can't change that.
Nope.
Like
you can't change the fact that the female characters in the game are only there because of Cloud.
Yeah, and they're all of them too are very like, because there's the whole sense of mother in the game. You know, you have Genova, but every female character besides Yuffie, who herself is a child, she's 15, I believe, in the game. All the other female characters are very nurturing mother-like characters. Tifa and Aerith very much are nurturing characters to younger characters. Like you have Marlene, which is Barrett's child. Tifa constantly almost acts as like a replacement mother to Marlene. So she's not only a love interest, she's also just shown as nurturing to younger kids.
Meanwhile, she can kick you barehanded. She can kick your butt.
Granted, they showed that like characters are like scared of Tifa because like male characters sometimes are scared of her because they're like they know she could kick your ass, but like she's rarely shown kicking ass unless you're literally doing a fight. Otherwise, all the cutscenes with her are very nurturing to an extent,
Which is nice because, again, devil's advocate, you know, say what's the saying? Say less and carry a big stick kind of thing.
Yeah.
With Tifa, but again, you mentioned, was it the lampshade?
Yes, the sexy lamp.
The sexy lamp theory in a video game, which very much works with Kingdom Hearts.
Yes,
it does.
it's basically like the sexy lamp. You know, the lamp leg shade from Christmas Story. If you replaced a female character with this lamp in anything, it doesn't even have to be a video game, even in movies. If you replaced a female character with this lamp, would it change the plot? Would things be different? Would it change a character's motivation, or would it still stay the same? And if it stays the same, that you sir, have a horrible female character.
It's true.
Horribly written female character.
Horribly written female
Yes.
character. Where, you know, I mean, who is it that mentioned Alloy?
I did.
That was you,
Yes.
Choco. Yeah. So, I mean, again, strong female character done correctly.
Yes. So I know there's lots of controversy with how Alloy is looking currently, which don't understand any of it.
Meh.
She looks the same as the first game.
Incels.
Yep.
Well, it's actually interesting though, because you're mentioning the controversy with Alloy. Now, The Last of Us Part 2 was another game that brought up a lot of controversy.
Yes.
I'm not going to touch too much on that in terms of like the storyline, but you have the character of Abby, who is a very muscular, very built woman, and because she doesn't look traditionally feminine, among other reasons, like there are some reasons are valid to dislike her character. You're absolutely allowed to do that, but to hate on this character just for the fact that she doesn't fit what you think a traditional woman should look like, or a traditionally feminine presenting woman should look like, or feminine presenting person, I apologize, I should look like, then all of a sudden, like, oh, she's unrealistic, she's pandering, all sorts of other things that, we've all probably heard.
all the time.
And
All the time.
yeah, and it's like, we don't exist just for the male gaze. Granted, I do profit off of it quite a bit, but that's not the only reason we're here.
Yeah, we're not saying like there's nothing wrong with like sex appeal, but it's when
It's when sex appeal goes from sex appeal to fan service.
and if the character is that's their whole point, it's like you could have put effort into this character. They didn't have to just be sex appeal. You could be sex appeal. Yeah, you could be sex appeal and still have a really cool story.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Melina?
that's the thing. Yeah.
Melina.
Melina, listen, Melina's probably one of my favorite characters of all time. Dare I say, she influenced me quite a bit.
There you go.
Definitely made me realize I wasn't straight. But also, like, here you have this character. She made it to a freaking Playboy spread. Okay, like, so she is often in very revealing costumes, but she hides the bottom half of her face because she is a literal man eater. She got the whole on venom symbiote mouth. She will rip your throat out and not care if not care. But
Just does not care.
yeah, hey, she lures you in with the sex appeal, and honestly, like,
Chomp.
yeah, yes, but also like this kind of goes into say how there's like sex appeal. We're not trying to say that sex appeal does not have any place in video games
Of course
whatsoever.
not. Sex sells.
Exactly.
We
I would know.
profit off of it anytime if we like Scarlett, you
Yes.
you do what
OnlyFans.
you do. Like we are all of us here are guilty of, feeling sexy and doing sexy cosplays and all sorts of other things. But we don't make that the main focus of what we do, and that's why this whole episode is about. You literally made these characters the sole focus. The sole focus was vagine. That's it.
Exactly.
Vagine and boob. I'm sorry, we're sitting here and we're saying you have opportunities in so many of these video games to give us a strong, sexy female lead, and you somehow always manage to make it one or the other, and it's annoying.
And they tend to make that female character's arc revolve around a man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is why going back to Horizon Zero Dawn, like that's why I liked Alloy so much. Like not only was the gameplay like really good and I enjoyed the story as a whole, but while there are like male characters in the game that you can kind of like have flirty conversations with, because it is one of those games you have like options to choose from, you can't romance anyone in the game. It's not like Mass Effect. Like you cannot fully romance a character. No characters in the game. So it focuses on Alloy's story and her growth as a character, and just about her and how what she does affects like the world around her. And you don't have a romance in it, and that was like so refreshing and new, because like I play modern video games too, and I still don't see that many. Like there's always a romance. They'll always try and hide a romance in, which granted I play dating sims, so like I clearly like romance stuff too, but it's nice to see a character where it's like, this is not an option.
No.
You can't do this. She's literally just here to be the badass protagonist.
It's really nice to see that though in a character, because their entire story is not based around a failed romance, like, or anything like that. Like, example, let's go Disney trope here to Kaye, Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh boy,
Wreck-It Ralph, where you have what's her face in the game? Help me here.
Oh, are you talking about Vanellope?
No, not just Vanellope. I'm talking about the other character from the shooting game.
Oh,
I'm having a
Calhoun. I
Thank
love
you.
Calhoun.
Total brain
Total
fart
babe.
right there.
Total babe.
I'm so sorry. I
You
brain
good.
farted.
You good?
But here's the thing. What is the whole thing that they say in Wreck-It Ralph? She's programmed with the most tragic backstory ever. Are you kidding me?
Although I will say what I love about Wreck-It Ralph is I feel like it's very heavily meant to be a satire.
Yeah, it's for
so
sure.
when they say that, it's like they're joking because they realize, because she's the one female main character in the arcade besides the racing game, they're really moving into the fact that that's the joke. Is that was the most tragic thing they could come up with for her.
Right.
So
husband died.
very tongue-in-cheek. And I will say they kind of followed through on the joke in Wreck-It Ralph 2, where they have that moment where Vanellope's like, what do you mean? Your storylines are solely that you're looking for a man to love you. And
With the princesses?
With the princesses. She's like, what do you mean you gave away your voice to find a dude? And I think that's what's kind of great about Wreck-It Ralph. And I feel like adults read it more that way than kids do. But I think it's so funny because I needed to know these movies inside and out because I did work at Disney and worked very heavily with Ralph and Vanellope. That they're all like very tongue-in-cheek in their jokes, and I think that's what's so great about Calhoun as a film character.
Right, I agree, but the fact that they had to make the satire in the first place, that's
That proves
really
a point.
that
Exactly.
proves our point here. The fact that you have this strong, beautiful female lead character of a fictional video game that you still have to make as a tragic backstory. Are you kidding me? Stop it. Just stop it. No. Oh, no. But, like, again, we are not bashing these games. We play these games. We love these games. We grew up with these games. Do better.
Yeah.
That's all we're saying.
There is a light at the tunnel though, because
And the tunnel doesn't happen to fall in between our legs.
no,
The tunnel keeps going, guys.
Just saying.
At least not for free.
Wow.
but no, some games have clearly had lots of progression, growth, and all of that. And going back to the beginning with Zelda, if you've played the new one, Breath of the Wild, literally when you beat the game, you find out Breath of the Wild, the title itself really is talk about Zelda herself. Because you find out the real story is like, okay, Link, yeah, he lost his memories. But the true story of that game is that Zelda was she lost her mother, who was supposed to help with the calamity, and because she had no mother figure, her father didn't know how to raise her. So she had trouble unlocking her power. And Breath of the Wild is that when she finally lost her father and she failed the calamity the first time, getting to fight calamity again and again and winning, she now can finally breathe a breath of fresh air and be herself. The girl she always wanted to be, the scholar, not the magical princess who's just there to save everyone.
Nope.
She can be the scholar she wanted to be and go actually enjoy her life. So Breath of the Wild is just, the title actually means she gets to be herself now.
Which is really, really cool, considering you went from the very beginning incarnation, what was it, 1986, when the original Zelda came out, where it's just, save me, almighty hero.
Yep.
Okay. Hiya! I'm gonna fight some chickens. I'm gonna break some pottery. I might do some evil shit with a dog on a chain. Arf, arf, kind of shit. And then at the end, oh, thank you, mighty hero.
Although, can I say one thing about Zelda? I haven't played all of the games, but I was a big Smash Bros. Fan. And this really should have told me I was queer. My favorite character to play as was Zelda, because Zelda could turn into Sheik. And I thought that was really interesting, because although, we don't like getting slapped in the face with the queer coding. Let's be real, happens too much. But for me, as a kid, I loved the idea that I didn't need to be fully female presenting all the time. I could play a character who could go in between. So when I felt like being Sheik and I felt like being more masculine, I could be Sheik. When I wanted to come off more femme, I could be Zelda. And I thought that was so cool. And granted, I was pretty young, so I didn't know the full game context.
Yeah.
But like getting to play that game and being like, oh, I don't have to choose to just, like, I can't only just be a woman. Like, I can be something that lives in between.
Yeah.
Was insane. And it was so cool to me.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you, and I'm sure a lot of our non-binary beings out there will agree with you as well.
Which, even speaking of, because that Smash version is the Ocarina of Time version, so even going to that's still like 1990.
Ocarina of Time, I believe, was 1997.
Okay, 7.
Because I remember playing it on on my Game Boy.
Well, I had it on the
Was
Nintendo.
it on my Game?
It
No,
was
it was
Nintendo
on,
64.
No, it was Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
So that was, yeah, I remember, and it was annoying.
But even in that one, like, you have, because Zelda is still like damsel in distress in that one, but like when you beat the game and you find out who Sheik is in the game, you find out Zelda's actually been with you this whole time and helping you and actually being proactive in the game. So while it wasn't the best female representation of Zelda they've had in the series,
They did do
that
better.
they did better already that early on.
Yeah.
That was like kind of
It's a definite step
Yeah.
in the right direction.
It
yeah,
was.
they were going in it, so they were like, let's make actually Zelda like more important to the story than just the title.
I mean, it is called The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
they've been proactive.
They are. Certain game companies were very proactive with that. And yes, we do still get the fan service. There are many games that I love playing because I get the fan service in it. Let's not get it twisted. We are not sitting here bashing the whole industry. Not at all. All we are saying is, you had 35, 36 years to do better, and only recently have you started to do so. And it's because you started listening to your female presenting audience. And before that, you kind of just listened to the boys who were just like, big dicks. I want big dicks. I want big dicks, and make them into swords.
I will say, though, I think with the continued invention of the internet and the more proactive people have been on the internet, including companies as well as individuals using the internet, we've made it a point to now very wholly call these things out within a space where we can connect with these companies directly. And I think that's definitely helped it a lot, because things on the internet, I'm not going to say the internet is perfect. The internet is a dark, dark place. But I will say, I feel like that really helped the evolution. And I think in being forced to listen to the people that played their games, they were like, oh, so we might actually make more money if we actually do
Tap
something
into the other
yeah,
end
exactly.
of the
If we actually
market.
tap into the market and we actually listen to what people are saying. Wild idea.
Yeah, like how dare we give them something that is not a fluffy like here, you're a female. You want to play Nintendo Dogs?
You want to play Barbie horse riding?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Do you want to play the Pocahontas game that was wildly racist? Like here,
Wait,
take
that was
it.
a thing?
Yeah, there was
Yes,
a
it
Pocahontas.
was.
There was a Pocahontas Game Boy game.
There was a Game Boy
when
game.
the movie came out.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh God.
Yeah.
When did that movie come out?
1997.
I think
or
it was
8.
6.
Yeah.
1996, probably.
I think it was
It was
6.
like it was.
Oh, this
yeah.
movie's older than I am.
Yeah, yeah. Like we don't talk about Pocahontas.
Oh yeah, the real thing.
We don't talk about Pokemon. But like we're talking, these are the games that we were given.
Yeah.
Like even back in the day when they were when Disney was releasing their video games, like you had the Lion King video game on Sega, which was
Aladdin.
great.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
have
think
that
they
one.
had an Atari. No, not Atari. What was the other one that my dad had? Oh, Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yep.
He had like a line. He had a bunch of like different.
Well, they
old
were
Disney
cross
games.
platforms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
so you
we-
had the Aladdin game. You had
Yep,
the
I had
you
that
had
one.
Lion
I had
King.
the Lion King. I had quite a few for that one.
Right. And those were great because they really were based on the movie, not so
Right.
much the characters, and that's fine. We were okay with that. We loved it. But like boy games were the bang 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 shoot 'em up game, and girl games were, "Hey, do you want to go farming?"
But I liked it. I did like it. I did
did,
play
Yeah.
it.
You know,
I very
I
much
mean-
grew up watching my dad play video games, and it was like it was this weird kind of thing because like, and even now like watching my partner play games, it's more that's like instead of watching TV, I watch people play video games, and so I was watching my dad play those like boy games. He played Knights of the Old Republic. He played Resident Evil, especially Resident Evil 4, one of my favorite games of all time. Played Mass Effect, Dragon Age, a lot of stuff, and that's how I ended up getting into it, watching him play those like boy games.
Yeah.
So, for me, like I mean, like I saw like some of the like fluffier like girly games. My little sister was playing those, but like I would play a bit of both. Like the idea
Yeah.
of video games being gendered to me was just
Silly.
always it was
Stupid.
I mean, there's a lot of things that are unnecessarily gendered. I really don't think we need video games to be as well.
and there's a construct,
yeah.
my friend.
It's
Exactly.
exactly, and that's the entire point of this entire conversation that we are having with you all and you listening out there in Phoenix Gateland. You know, like straight up, we're just sitting here telling you, like the gendered game is done. That time is over. Like we get it, we got it. It's done. Fix your shit.
Exactly.
I mean, like, I have the ability, there are days where I want to play Animal Crossing, and then there are days where I want to go and I'm going to play Division 2, and I'm going to do headshots. I mean, back in the day when computers were a really big thing, I used to play Call of Duty on the computer. I used to play all sorts of freaking shooting games, and I was better than most of the boys who would play. And then, of course, because I was better, I was considered manly. Like, because I was good at a boys game. Screw you.
Well, no, it's
Screw
interesting
you.
because when I was in high school, like I did hang out with predominantly other boys, and well, I say other boys as if I said that as if I am one. I'm not. But, I just realized the way I said that. But I hung out with a lot of boys, and it was like to the point where they really didn't see me as a girl. They saw me just as
One of the dudes.
as one of the dudes. I remember this one kid even asked me, "Hey, can you tell me how to like how to get with girls?" And I'm like, dude, if I could get with one myself, I would tell you.
Yeah, but we're not saying that's directly
Yeah.
correlated with video games, but it
it's
is.
def-
It's an undercurrent.
Yeah.
An undercurrent.
It's an
Yeah.
undercurrent.
I mean, I was playing a lot of video games with them. We were often discussing video games. We were in like Xbox Live parties at the time.
I mean, this
Yeah.
is the plight of the gamer girl.
Yes.
Honestly, this is the plight of the gamer female or female presenting person because we are always and have been, because of the gendering of video games, been looked down on.
And I will say, like, especially as a non-binary person in the room and who identifies under the non-binary umbrella, for me especially, because I'm very into story-based games and I'm very into horror games. Like growing up, it was constantly like, "Oh, do you want to play Cooking Mama?" which is a cute game, but I was like, I don't want to be a baker. Like literally, my cosplay name is Paladin of Stars. I want to be a fucking knight, people. Like, I literally, like, my favorite saint is Joan of Arc. Come on, y'all.
Yeah, but even then, like, and when it's not just video games that the gendering
It's
was
everywhere.
happening. Remember in Dungeons and Dragons,
Oh my
if
God,
you play
yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons as a girl, oh my God, you're weird. Like,
yeah,
if you
it's
played
insane.
if you played tabletop games and you wanted to play a female in the tabletop games, oh my god, you're weird.
If you liked comics, oh, you don't actually read comics.
Yeah, you don't actually read them. Like I've literally, don't get me started. I've gotten so many people.
That is another episode.
There's a
that
whole
is
other
another-
episode. There's a whole other hand in a hand basket.
Oh man, that'll be a fun one.
But
to
the
do.
one thing I will say is, especially with the evolution of games, what I love to see is now we have a lot of story-based games that really, and I will give Square Enix this credit, the Life is Strange series is so well done. You have female presenting characters, and you have queer female presenting characters, and not just like, you can literally romance both the men, you can romance the women, you get to choose what you want. And a lot of those games, yeah, they still have like the mystical, like the woman has the power, the female presenting person has the power, like the magical power. But I will say, you get to choose your own destiny. And regularly in these games that I prefer, these story-based games, it was constantly, you always fell into a traditional role. But in Life is Strange, you get to take this hero role, and you get to have some interesting conversations within the game that are about gender, that are about sexuality. Most recently in Life is Strange True Colors, they have a scene where you're sitting around the campfire talking about polyamory, monogamy, the fluidity of sexuality, the fluidity of gender. And I feel like that's so important.
It is, and it's such an example of how video games have truly evolved in some ways, and other ways have not. And that is literally the entire point of this conversation, ladies and gentlemen. We are not out here to offend. We are out here to educate. We are giving you 4 different points of view from 4 different powerful people: non-binary, bisexual, sex worker, not sex worker, cosplayer, not cosplayer, gamer, not gamer, like from all different ages as well, because we have Scarlett here who did not grow up with some of the games that me and Choco did, same as Kaye. This is all we are saying here, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary beings that are out there, who ladies, theys, and gays. As we like to
I'm about
say.
it, days and gays.
The ladies, theys, and gays, go be gay, do crimes. But, you know, this is literally what we are saying in this podcast, and we just wanted to get our opinions out there about something that maybe has not been addressed directly. It's been addressed, but let's say it's not been addressed directly. There's not been an open conversation because 99% of the time we are gatekept from it.
You should even play
100%.
games.
Yeah.
You don't actually play the good game.
Oh, I'm
my
sorry. Like,
You don't really know Star Wars. Meanwhile, I could literally recite the entire script of Empire Strikes Back at you if needed.
yeah, pretty much. But we're just saying, as we are going to bring this episode to a close, I want to thank my guests, Choco, Scarlett, and Kaye, for joining me and giving me all these different opinions and views that I may not have had, being the old lady in the room. That's fine. You know, and, you know, playing games that I have not had the opportunity to play. A lot of these games I've touched on, I've never actually been immersed in, like Dragon Age. I touched it. It got bored. It was consensual. I got bored, and that's why I never picked it back up. But meanwhile, if you like put Monster Hunter in front of me in any of its incarnations, I'm gonna be going crazy. Same with Choco. Choco, as you can't tell from her name, how much do you love Final Fantasy?
A lot. It has problems, but a lot.
Right? like Scarlett, your favorite game of all time, I'm going to dare say, is the Mortal Kombat series.
Mortal Kombat and Resident Evil.
There you go.
They're both tied.
There you go. We're not saying we hate these games. We're just saying it could have been done a little bit better. Kaye, your favorite games?
Oh, that's tough. I mean, but if I had to pick any, it's definitely the Life is Strange series. I also love The Last of Us, probably my favorite game of all time. I mean, I played the original on PC.
Yeah.
So for me, seeing those games evolve in the ways they've evolved, especially The Last of Us with Last of Us 2, is insane and so great to see. It's just we need to stop needing to hear conversations with cis men telling us that the representation we're getting is the wrong representation because it's just servicing the female presenting folks. Because that's not what it is. It's telling a true, authentic story.
I love that. And even as you heard in the background, Choco's partner and Scarlett's partner, they're both male identifying people, and they are playing Call of Duty right now, and they're having a kick-ass fucking time doing so. So again, we're not sitting here shitting on them for having that preference. We're literally, they can play any game that they want. They do play any game that they want. We play what we love to play. Everybody should be able to do so. We're just asking for a little bit more openness at the table, I guess is how I want to put it. I just want a little bit more openness at the table. Being this is the Feinics gate, the gate needs to be open and the gatekeepers need to be shot. End of story. But we are going to sign off for the day. Choco, where can we find you on social media?
Chocobo Butt on everything. I made it easy. Literally search on a website and you're like, oh, is Chocobo Butt on here? Let me see. I will be there.
Right.
Under Chocobo Butt.
But you did start a new venture recently, and I want you to talk about that.
Oh, with Twitch?
Not just with Twitch, with what?
Oh, yes. We also, you can also find me on Choco_Audi_props on Instagram for 3D printing.
Definitely reach out. They are on Etsy. You can find them on Instagram. They can literally, if you have something nerdy or geeky or video game or anything, and you want a custom prop, hit them up. Please, it is fantastic work. I have several pieces myself. Totally worth it. Scarlett, where can we find you?
All right. Best place to find me is on Instagram, Scarlett, that's Scarlett with 2 T's, _after dark. It's all the fun stuff on there. You could also find the links to the other sites.
The only fries.
Oh, and Friendly?
Friendly.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Find those links in the bio.
Yes. And Kaye?
All right, so you guys can find me, unfortunately, not at the real Kate McKinnon. It's not how it works. If only we can dream. But you can actually find me everywhere at Paladin of Stars. I spent a long time figuring out that username, so please look for it. But yeah, you can find me at Paladin of Stars on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. But I never use TikTok. I just use it for dank memes.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, you know how to find the Feinics Gate. We are the Feinics Gate on across all single platforms. On Twitter, we are on Twitch as well. We just, we are going to start doing a little bit more on Twitch, so keep an eye out for that. Obviously on Instagram and Facebook, you can find us on there. And as always, you can find us on every single listening platform that has, we have iHeartRadio, we have Google Podcasts, we have Apple Podcasts, we are on everything that does podcasts, we're there. Find us, love us. If you don't like this episode, there's plenty others to go and partake in. As always, I'm your girl, Jade Feinics. Thank you for tuning in, and we will be back in action very soon. So stay tuned, Feinics Gate travelers. We love you. Farewell. Goodbye. Adios.
And